Hold on to your hair. Hold on to your seat. Don't close your eyes in case Duppy you meet. Hi. Welcome back to what will be our final chapter of the Duppy Tales of Barbados. This week, I thought I'll share with you a story that became so popular in the 16th to 18th century, but it was really one of the most tragic tales of love to ever end on this shore. That's the story of Yarico. This is what occurred. A group of English merchants and sailors landed on what they thought was a deserted island, but what was really inhabited by the Amerindians. As they began to explore, the Amerindians observed them and determined that they were a threat to their existence and decided to set about an attack. Many of them suffered or were killed in the onslaught of the Amerindians' fury. However, one managed to escape, and that gentleman was Thomas Inkle. He was found by an Amerindian woman, who we know today as Yarico, who, as he lay bleeding and almost near death's door, decided to rescue him by hiding him in a cave and taking care of him. During that time, Yarico took care of Inkle, all his meals, his wounds, and even his mental state, to the point that she began to fall in love. Eventually, as the weeks continued, that love was returned by Thomas Inkle himself. As time passed and that love grew stronger and his health improved, Inkle decided it was time to return to his journey, but he didn't want to leave Yarico behind. Together, they set out and eventually made their way to the shoreline of the Spanish Main, to a ship that was waiting on the shore, and began the long journey to what would be the Barbados coastline. As they sailed for weeks across the sea, the coastline of Barbados came into view, and so did a reality check for young Thomas Inkle. He began to realize that the weeks he had spent under Yarico's care had left him without any profits or money to his name. As he began to live in the reality that would be a poor man's existence in Barbados, it could not compare to the fantasy of the love he had with Yarico. So that led Mr. Inkle to make a decision that will alter Yarico's life forever. That decision was to sell Yarico into slavery at Kendall Plantation in St. John. Can you imagine that devastated feeling that Yarico must have felt to have received pledges of love only to be betrayed on foreign soil by her lover and sold as an enslaved Amerindian here on a Barbadian plantation? As Yarico settled into what would be her fate, she discovered her belly growing what would be Inkle's child. In the retelling of the story over the centuries, it's said that Yarico bore the shame of her betrothed's betrayal and took herself at the hour of its birth to a pond where she gave birth with only the fish as witness under the still of the night. If you're ever in the area of Kendall Plantation at night, it could very well be the quacking of a duck you hear over the wind, or it could be the wailing of Yarico as she laments the betrayal of her love as she gives birth to her child. And that's the end of our Duppy Tales of Barbados, and I hope you enjoyed our journey through the chapters of Barbados folklore and mystery.